Okay. It's recording.
So, yeah. So again, thank you so much. It's very invaluable that you participated in this, and we learned a lot. And I'm hoping that it was useful to you. Now, here the main thing that I wanted to find out from you is, was it useful? And I want you to be really, really frank, as I was telling you the other day. Oftentimes, universities come into communities and then they want to be nice, and the community member just sits there saying, oh no, here comes another nice person, and we have to spend time for them. So we don't really want to do that. And that's why I feel like the main thing here is overall just to find out whether this kind of engagement is worth your time, and if it's so, what can be changed, or just general responses to what just happened in the month of August.
I think it was worth my time. I mean, I did have some non-responsive people, but for the most part, I got a connection with the lady across the street from me. And usually we see each other and speak. I mean, I've been over there a couple of times and dropped her off a few things, but never had a true and deep conversation with her. So one connection, strong connection is really good, I feel like. So we talked about, she came, matter of fact, she came over and sat on my porch and we talked, and I've been over on her porch and talked. Mm-hmm. And she was appreciative of the fresh vegetables. She did not get me any photos, which she had told me she was going to get me. And she had talked to me several times about it. I don't know if she forgot. She said she had some back issues and some hand issues. So she got all of them but one, because she said that she had been down. But otherwise, I talked to her since then. Also, I had another lady, Diane's sister. Mm-hmm. And I had never really had a conversation with her, but it gave me a chance to go over there, and we had a conversation on her porch, and we talked, and she enjoyed it. It's pretty much just her. I think she has a daughter ever so often that might come by or visit her, but she enjoyed it. She really enjoyed it. Bobby, she enjoyed it also. Her and her husband, it's her and her husband. She has some grandchildren that she keeps sometimes, but she was just ecstatic. She was ecstatic. I'm trying to think of which other ones. It was Bobby. And let me see, I'm thinking. Then the girl across the street. Now, the one next door to me, that she took one bag. She never really gave me any, she didn't talk about it. She works a lot. She didn't really talk about it. She took one, and then the second one, I had to contact her a couple times, and I told her, I said, well, if you're not interested, just let me know, and I will give it to someone else. And she told me to give it to someone else, and that's just what I did. So I'm trying to think of, let's see, I'm trying to think of how many people did I have on me. So the guy next door to me, he has a slew of grandchildren.
That's Bobby.
But,
That's Bobby, right?
No, his name is Larry.
Larry.
Mm-hmm. So Bobby is a woman. Oh. So Bobby is the one, I said, her and her husband, I gave them, and she has a slew of grandchildren too, but they don't stay with her. Mm-hmm. So, they come and visit, but the guy next door, his name is Larry. And Larry, he never responded. I sent him text messages. I called, I didn't get an answer. I called Bobby's husband, the woman next door to him. I called her husband to try to reach out to him, and he never responded. So I'm assuming that he just was not interested. but it's a lot of them. I mean, he has maybe about, it might be six, 5 or 6 grandchildren. And he don't, his daughter is there, but he has the grandchildren a lot with him. So he did not respond. But my daughter that lived upstairs, I took one over to her because I didn't want it to go to waste, and I figured she could use it, and she loves it, and she lived upstairs from me for a very long, very, very long time. So I gave one to her and my niece. I split it and gave it to them, and my niece enjoyed it. I have a nephew that just got over, had battled brain cancer. Oh. And so he enjoyed like the pears and the some of the fresh fruit, because my niece, she don't eat nothing but fish and vegetables, so that worked perfectly for her. She's a fish and vegetable person. But I was trying to get it to people that maybe don't eat as a lot of fruits and vegetables, like the woman on the other side of me. I'm not sure if she might eat a whole lot. I don't know. I did not have a conversation with her about it, but I guess she just wasn't interested in it. And I'm trying to think, I should have pulled out my list of all the names I had. Let's see. I think it was 6. So let's see.
And what's the woman's name who lived opposite your house? The person who came.
That was Tina, Katina.
Tina.
So it was Katina.
Okay.
So she's let's see, it's Katina, Larry, the girl across the street, Tawanda.
Yeah.
Tawanda.
Yeah. And don't worry about the names. That's not that important. What's important for me to ask you is, just being a community member living in that block, you have really, frankly, dedicated your life to transforming that block. And what I'm hearing from you is there is a difficulty in connecting with people, even when you have, something to give. Right. Is that a problem? Is that something that you have dealt with all your life, or is this new? Is it something that's happening because there are
it's not new. No, it's not new. People, even though you have something to give, I mean, I had a actual coat, hat, glove giveaway in, I think it was 2017. And I mean, it was hard getting people out then, matter of fact, I actually, we had a snowstorm that day, but we actually put flyers on doors, and we went blocks and blocks and notified people. And I mean, this is something that, parents, we offer food. We had it at a place, and we offered food, and we had hat, gloves, and scarves for the children, and all the way up, they were all school-age children. So people really, I mean, they came, but not really came out like I thought, especially being in walking distance, even though we had a snowstorm the day before. But what my granddaughter and my daughters did, they were stopping people that was walking in the area and handing it to them. Because I mean, we had slews of food, and we had slews of hats, gloves, and scarves. So people were really excited to get them once you handed it to them. But they were not coming to get it, and I think people just are, I don't know why it's that they are afraid to come out their doors sometimes to just talk to a neighbor. I don't know if it's that they think we want to know their business or what, but it's just pretty much reaching out and resources that I really want to do and make, help them with a better quality of life if that is what they need.
Yeah, and you know what? The reason I asked you this question is you said something in the beginning of a conversation which was real wisdom. You said that even if it's one person you have connected with, that's that's great. And I want
Right.
you to say a little more about that. Why did you say even if there is what does one person connecting with one person achieve? What do you get? Like
Connecting with
in your
one
experience.
person,
Yeah.
they may reach out to someone else. Another thing is that person, and they have family members, so maybe something that I said can they can instill in their family members, or just knowing that people care, period, but she has, young children and adult children, and so them knowing that they live in a community that cares, because she even spoke about possibly moving. And we sat down and I talked to her, and I'm like, don't move. We're
Mm-hmm.
trying to, keep the community stable, and I enjoy you as a neighbor. And if you move, we don't know what we're going to get next, and so we're trying to keep people here in the neighborhood.
Right.
But she might pass the word on to other people in the neighborhood, because she has next door neighbors, and those will they don't really come out. They come out, but they don't really, if I invite them to something, they don't come. They don't really give me much conversation. So maybe she'll, because she's next door, maybe she'll be able to give them a little conversation, say, what, she's all right. She's not what, we, that I might have thought. She's a cool person. She don't, she's not trying to get in your business, because I didn't try to ask her all about her business and her family and everything, It's
Mm-hmm.
just, what she told me, if it was anything, but, it was pretty much, we were talking about the community. And
Right.
she talked about how she loved her home. She wanted to buy it. And I encouraged her to, look for resources. As a matter of fact, I sent her some information on resources as far as first-time homeowners and things that I had. So, that might get a new homeowner in the neighborhood also, because that's what she talked about. But at first she was like, I don't know, I was kind of thinking about moving. And I'm like, well, so where are you going to go? Because I mean, there's stuff everywhere, and we can make our block stronger, one person at a time. So we got a few homeowners on the block, and we have a few renters. If we can get some of those renters to buy, if those houses are up for sale, or if the homeowner, the actual owner, is willing to sell, then that's a great thing, because then people have a vested interest in the community by owning that property.
Yeah, and I think that's what I have other questions, but I want to actually focus a little bit more on that. So, you're telling us that So one of my mentors once told me that you have to be a little ray of sunshine. So when you're a little ray of sunshine, you enter into someone else's house, and that person turns into a little ray of sunshine, and then you have
Right.
sunshine everywhere. And I see that same concept here, is that what you're doing is you're not actually, it's not the distribution is not that important as actually connecting with someone else, because care is a political act only if you can touch someone else's lives. That's what you're saying. Have you had success in that? Can you tell us a story where such an event where you actually touched one person ended up producing, um, bigger than, that just that one person?
Oh, well, I'm trying to think. Is it anything that I have done that touched? Well, I think about Diane's sister. She, um, I really didn't know her that well. I knew Diane very well, and when Diane passed, I guess she don't really communicate with too many people in the neighborhood, but she actually bought the home that Diane lived in. And when I reached out to her with the fresh produce, she decided to reach out to me because I had shared the story that you guys had um, did on Diane. I
Mm-hmm.
had shared that with another friend of mine, which she had shared with Diane's sister. But she she was it came upon the anniversary of Diane's birth, what was her birthday, and the death, because Diane died on her birthday. And so they were having a celebration, but she wanted something to bring a memory of Diane to them. So what she did was she contacted me and asked me, did I have that information for her, which you guys provided for me, and including the audio. So I shared that with her, and she had a social distant event for Diane, which she invited me to. And I went, and they did a big I guess it was like a post, not a poster, the kind that you had down there at City Hall. What do you call
Right.
those? Poster board,
Mm-hmm.
poster board of Diane, that picture of Diane and her story on there. So it was really nice, and she greatly appreciated me. So her family got a chance to see that. She got a chance to share that with her family, even Diane's co-workers. They got a chance to see that also. So it was nice to see that she had that up there of Diane, and we kind of got us a little bond, me and Diane's sister, so I'm able to reach out to her. She's able to reach out to me. And I think that brought a lot of joy to her, because even hearing Diane's voice again in that audio was a joy to her also.
Yeah, that's nice to know. It's just wonderful, the story. Tell us a little more about the discussions you had on your porch with your neighbor, and just tell us a couple of stories that you had which might end up, in your mind, transforming the neighborhood, something positive. One, of course, was that she's going to stay now. She's going to go, and then you. What else? What other kinds of? Tell us some stories that you had.
Well, she told me about that she makes her own hair products,
Mm.
and so she shared that she took some of the I think it was the mint, and she made hair products, which I didn't know that's what she did.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that she has a small child. She has an older child, but she has small children. So she kind of opened up to me, where we usually we talked about. She told me about her mother, her family. Her mother was a hairstylist, as I was, and she sat down and talked with my daughter when she came over on my porch, and we just talked about the neighborhoods, and we just talked about different things in life, and the things that's happening now, as far as politically, some of the things that she didn't quite understand. um, I explained to her it was certain things that she did not understand, like why would a person uh, do a census? She didn't understand census. And so, talking to people about why, because people don't understand the purpose of census. They don't understand that it's money allocated for the communities. She don't understand that, that if you don't be counted, that money goes other places, um, as far as voting, talking to people about voting, um, the importance of voting and why they don't want us to vote. Understand the fact that not voting is making the other people happy, because why are they so focused on us not voting? You know, I didn't tell her who to vote for, but just the focus of you know, if you're, you know, going to vote, make sure you do it, you know, and what our people have suffered by trying to get to that place, you know. And she pretty much she was a smart lady, so she knew a lot of things. But you know, certain things, especially with me being older and her being younger, certain things that she just did not, you know, understand. And so, you know, to make a person understand, you know, certain things, you know, made me happy. Um, Resources, giving her the resources. She actually, I never had her email, I never had her phone number. Now I have those things that she was willing to give me um, on that day that she was on my porch. So those are the things that we, you know, talked about. You know, what else was I gonna say about her?
Miss Tremerell, the neighbor whose name you didn't know beforehand?
Yes, yes. I knew her. I knew her family as far as, you know, seeing them come in and out, but I did not know her name. She always called me friend or hi neighbor, hi friend, you know, so that's what we usually called each other, you know, hi lady, you know. So we just, you know, we never knew each other's name, but now she knows my name. So when she sees me, she's like, you know, she calls my name now and I call her by her name. And but we've always been friendly, you know, with each other. Very friendly young lady. We talk about our dogs because she has a dog and I have a dog. She has a big dog and I have a little dog. So we talk about dogs, you know. And you know, I just feel like it's a great thing to get a chance to know who your neighbors are without them feeling like that you're trying to get into their business, you know, really knowing, you know, trying to because I think people are scared that you're going to try to get into their business. You know, I think that's a lot of the problem right there, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not. I'm a nosy neighbor, but not that kind of nosy neighbor. My nosy neighbor is I just want us to have a safe neighborhood, um, for us to know each other, to look out for each other. If something happens, my neighbor on the other side, her mom fell. It might have been a week before the fresh, might have been a couple of weeks before the fresh produce in the rain. Her mother was dropped off, and I saw her fall, and it hurt my heart in the rain. And I had no shoes on, but what happened was they dropped her off, and it was a cab. And so I'm running to go get my shoes so I can run out there and help her up, which the cab driver did get out by the time I got out there, helped her up. But I had no phone number to reach her. No phone number, no nothing. And I knew that, you know, I needed to get in contact with her because no one was at home at the time. So I did send her an email. I did have her email, and I sent her the email, and she must have read it right away. And she called me, and I explained to her what happened and how it bothered me that, you know, that I watched her mother get out in that pouring rain and fall. And I felt almost like, and I mean, it was really pouring. And I'm like, oh, let me grab my shoes. My husband was watching her. My husband said, because he couldn't help her because of his stroke. So I'm like, let me get my shoe, because I have a father that I'm taking care of here, and I want somebody to watch out and be able to reach out to me if something happens to my father, or if they see something, even if it's not anything. If you see something strange around the house that you're not used to seeing, you know, if it's something strange, you know, this is a strange person hanging at your door, or you have a broken window, or, you know, anything, your door is open, just even small things, you know. So those are the things that I want to be able to do, you know, if even if it's just a little stuff, you know.
Okay, so we're going to actually move on to zines, but before that, Chelsea, if you have any questions to follow up on this notion of conversations on the porch and connections and little rays of sunshine, essentially.
Um, what are the most common resources that you share with neighbors or that you wish you could share with neighbors?
Well, I share resources that I share with neighbors is city services. Um, that's one thing, because you know if they have a problem with what's going on, if it's the alley issues, trash issues, um, if it's potholes in the street, you know, what I do, a lot of things, they'll call me and ask me if I'll do it. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, gonna give you the number, because I want them to be able to do certain things themselves, because I can't, what if I'm not around, you know? So what I'm trying to do is I want to empower people to do certain things themselves. If it's a light out, what number, you know, where to call if there's no lights on the street. Um, resources like we are our overnight parking. A lot of people did not know about the overnight parking, as far as it had been suspended. Some of them did not know, and then they didn't know that some of the parking rules are getting ready to be reinstated. So I'm like, be on the lookout, you know, they're getting ready to reinstate parking rules, as far as um, throwing out things. You know, we usually have where the garbage people would pick up bulk items so big, and found out that they were actually allowing people to take things to the city dump for free. And that was like that was like golden to me, you know. Oh, you can take stuff to the dump. You know, usually if you take so much, they charge you
Mm-hmm.
TVs and things. So I was able to get rid of TVs and old TVs, and my daughter had moved. She got rid of a lot of stuff. And so I explained, you know, I'm letting them know, send them out in emails, or if I see them, I let them know, you know, that sofa back there that you have, the city is not going to pick that up. But if you get a truck or somebody to take that down there, they'll take it for free, you know, because stuff like that, the city will charge. They charge for certain things over a certain amount. They'll charge. So I'll tell them, you know what, they're not going to pick that up. That's going to just sit there. Take that, you know, get somebody to help you take it down there, or, you know, if you can, you know, get it down there some kind of way. So that was free. Also resources on home ownership, you know, if anybody is thinking about buying a home, or, you know, even home repairs like the NID, which is the helps homeowners with home repairs, up to $5,000 if you are paying into the NID, or the NIP program, anything that helps a person with, you know, financing things even bigger. Housing Resource Center, where, you know, you can go there and get tools, and you can take a housing class if you're looking to buy a home, which I had talked to the young lady about. You know, you go down there and take that class, and they talk to you about grants and different resources for that. So those are the things that I like to let people know is available to them, because you find out later on that people don't know nothing about these things. They know, they are like, I did not know that was available for us. I work with Sherman Park Community Association. So they send out information. I try to get it to people, because some people don't even know that we have an association. Safe and Sound, I work closely with Safe and Sound. So they send out information that I may not know, that I share with other people also. So if it's anything that I can share with a community member to make it easier for them, that's what I will do.
Thank you. Arijit, you're muted.
So I want to move to the zines. I was
Okay.
looking at the zines you looked at. There are some zines which you liked and some you didn't. And I just want to get, I want to, this is basically what I would like to have a conversation with you. One is, what were the zines, your general response to the zines? And if you have any suggestions, because we were hoping that we will continue making the zines, but we want to make zines only that is useful to people in the neighborhood. That's number one. And number two is, what did people, I know that you said that very few people talked about the zines, but if anyone did, what kind of feedback did you get? Anything that you can tell us about the zines? Let's just kind of talk about that.
Oh, let me see here. It was very few people did they, well, one thing I know, they love the mask. They like the mask. They like that. So but I'm trying to think of one that the cards with the different people's
Yeah.
names on those. Um, they like. I had one person that liked those,
Mm.
and they were going to. I guess it's almost like a Black History cards, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
history of the people that's in our community. So they did. They liked those there. Uh, I You know what? Let me pull them up because it was some that I should have grabbed it. Hold on one second. Let me grab it here. I got the right spot. It was some that brought to my attention. It was, let's see here, because I liked them all. They all had good information in them. Um, let me see here. They had one with the well, of course, I liked the one with the okay, Federal Housing Administration and loan prevention. A lot of people wasn't familiar with that, you know, that how, you know, some people were and a lot of people weren't familiar. I knew, and matter of fact, I was not, well, I can't say that I had a hard time when I first tried to purchase my home, getting a loan through certain banks, you know, and then found banks and they were willing to give us a loan. But, you know, I saw a lot of discrimination when we purchased our home. And even with the getting the insurance for our home, there was some discrimination. Matter of fact, the insurer that I had used for years denied me insurance. And I ended up going with a local insurance broker in order to get my homeowner's insurance. So this right here kind of stood out for me, was the Federal Housing Administration, because to me it's kind of informing people what has happened, and you know, knowing that they make it hard for us even nowadays to push and don't stop fighting to get what they want. I also like I said, I like them all. But what is a duplex? You know, um, kind of explaining. You know, that's my aunt, and I'm the helper for everyone. So I'll call her back. Um, let's see here. That one. Let me see. I done dropped some. Um, some of them I didn't get to that I saw. Let's see here.
Do you
This
think there
is,
were too many? Do you think there were too many, like inside the?
I got duplicates.
Oh.
So, um, that was the issue, was that I had got duplicates. Maybe could cut down on them a little bit. Uh, I like the Peace Garden one. I didn't put it in there, but I had gotten I liked it. I did like it, but I can only give 5.
You're
So
right.
I like the one of talking about the peace, the choose, pledge, and promote. I enjoyed that one because that talked about the different areas in the centerpiece area. Scholars Park, Peace Garden, Unity Orchard, Butterfly Park, the different
Yeah.
houses. So, and then it has a little map with everybody's faces on here, the people in the community, those that have stood out. So I like that. Let me see here. Did I drop any?
Yeah, you don't have to check it. It's just like if
Oh,
there is
and then
anything that you remember.
the food justice. I mean, true enough, I enjoyed that also, as far because the small little like trickle B. I like that they're in the area, and I think people in the community like that also. Also, the food justice, and most of the time it's potato chips and
Yeah.
candy from the candy stores from the kids. Of course, that they're buying it all because it's all on the ground. Because you have to pick up the papers and the bottles and things, soda bottles and things. But for our children, especially lead, the lead issues. And that comes with the food justice. I kind of put those two together because lead has always been around because that's what they painted these houses with years and years and years ago. That was the paint. And those were a lot of things that they used had lead in it. But because we as children, me speaking of myself, were eating healthier,
Mm-hmm.
eating fruits and healthy fresh vegetables, which my mother fed me, drinking milk, and those things kind of help fight that lead um, poisoning that a lot of our children have now. It's a lot of lead. Sometimes I wonder if the crime that we have in our city is based on lead poisoned children, because some of the things that they do have no reasoning behind it. And I'm thinking that a lot of it might be lead. And so I really wish, like, I've had my house lead abated. I had my windows lead abated. I just had basement windows put in, but I had my lead abatement done. When people are not aware of lead abatement a lot of times, and when I had my house painted, I let the painters know, when you paint my house, do not drop those paint chips in my grass, or you make sure you lay something out, and it's a certain way they're supposed to get rid of that paint, because I know it's lead in the paints that they've used in the past. And even though I've had my house painted several times, you don't get it all out. You only kind of, when you paint it, you get it, safe, but it's always some kind of lead in there. But I did have my windows redone. But people aren't aware of that healthy foods are a way to help their children as far as lead or any other type of health issues that they have, because they're so busy. They eat more fast foods, uh, candy store cooked foods. So having fresh produce, knowing about that, having that information there, at least letting them be aware of it, maybe it'll, I'm hoping that they read it. That's what I'm hoping. Because lead in our community including the water. Let's not leave out the water, the pipes. And that's, and for landlord, even for me, that's expensive to have lead pipes removed and put in pipes that are not lead pipes. But all these homes here have lead pipes in them.
Right.
So, they tell you what to do. I've had people, I think it was SDC come by, and they brought the lead filters, the water filters to put on.
Right.
And so I did take mine.
Right.
But, a lot of people drink bottled water, and some kids don't drink enough water. But it's lead all over. So that really stood out for me, was the lead.
Was the layout, the printing size, all that was okay with you, right?
Oh, yeah. The folding and everything, yeah.
Okay.
And that way I won't tear it up and bend it up.
Okay, and I'm going to move on to the next set, but last one, because we're running out of time. But Chelsea, if you have any questions about the zines, can you just, if you have any follow-up on the zines, will you ask?
What are 2 or 3 subjects that you would love to have explored by a zine that you would give out to neighbors? Just off the top of your head.
Well, lead, for one thing. The importance of different fruits and vegetables. Home ownership. Having pride in your community. Pride, because it's our community. Something that would say, it's really our community, whether we rent or we own, it's still our community. So, having some form of pride that we should have, even though we don't literally own it, but we live there and it represents us.
That's good, because I think what I'm hearing is there's how-to zines. There are certain how that you want us to make sure. The pride one, is it similar to are you talking about the cards, for instance? So all the people who have done incredible work. And then there's the history part, is like why we are here. Those kind of stories also are important. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what kind of categories of zines we should be creating now.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's our neighborhood. So, we are here, and we should make the best of it, I want to live in peace.
Chelsea, anything else?
No, I think that, focusing on health and safety, and then also kind of a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership. Those are definitely topics we want to keep expanding. Thank you for that.
And so now the last set, we are running out of time. So I'm just going to go quickly to the last part, and that has to do with the conversations with Newark. So I know that you came most of the time. And so I want to ask you a very frank question. Is that even relevant? Because we thought that maybe people in the community will connect with people in Newark and get some ideas as to how to resolve issues. But maybe we were asking for too much from people in the community, because other than you, I don't think anyone else turned up. So what were your thoughts on the conversations, the pros and cons, and if you still want those conversations or maybe not?
I mean, it's good to know to hear other people's stories of what they're doing in their community. To look at it, they have similar things that are happening in Newark as we are here, maybe a little different in little areas, but they have pretty much the same problem, how to get there. It's a good idea to listen to both sides on how to get to solving the problems. So I think it's I think it might be a good thing, you know, to kind of know what the other side is doing. So to get together and, you know, brainstorm. Some of their ideas may work here and some of them may not. And some of our ideas may work there and some of them may not. But, you know, it's good to know that we aren't the only ones, and to hear how they are doing, you know, handling some of the things that are happening in their community, whether it's poison in the water, you know, how they, you know, dump in the waters, or the gardens that they're doing, you know, as far as food. So it's interesting. Maybe, you know, maybe some, and maybe not all, you know what I mean? Not so much. But I think it's good to know.
Is there anything else that we didn't ask you that you wanted to tell us? And please be frank, so you can tell us bad and good things too. You just don't have to only tell us good things. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you thought would help? The way I want to ask this question is to ask you to think of how it's going to be useful to you. Is there anything we could do that could empower you, give you more power, give you some resources, help you out to carry on the work that you're doing?
I mean, you guys are doing such a wonderful job, you know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. You guys have reached out to us. I mean, you brought fruits and, you know, vegetables. People enjoyed it. Maybe next time, maybe we won't do so many people, maybe less people, and make the bags a little bigger. Because, like, especially with the greens, now I did have people say that just weren't enough, you know. So maybe make it, because usually when we buy greens, we buy a big bushel of them, you know. And because when you cook them down, they just shrivel up to just about nothing.
Yes.
So, you know, maybe less people and bigger, you know, if they ever do it again. They may not never do it again, but, you know, if it ever happens, you know, maybe less people and bigger bags. A lot of people, what I did like is the fresh herbs. People, even myself, I will buy it in the store, but I never bought it fresh. Now, my mother grew herbs, but I just, you know, I didn't pay any attention to it. You know, I just pretty much knew that she grew sage, and, you know, when she cooked certain things, she would put the sage in there. I wasn't a big basil person, but now it brought focus on some of those herbs. So I did like the fact that there were herbs, and we kind of know what those herbs do now, you know, because at first we did not know. I was like, okay, what is this? What do you do with it? And then, you know, Jackie, that's the person I left out. But she was the one that knew a lot about the herbs. So she explained some of the things to me, and she was happy to get them also. So let me not leave her out. She was very happy to get them. She just didn't get one because she went out of town. But otherwise, she was happy to get everything. And if it was something that she didn't like, I don't eat this. Here, take this and give this to somebody else, you know. So the herbs were something that stood out. Maybe not so many, but people got a chance to know what they were and what they do, and learn to enjoy them. The mints. My granddaughter loves mint, so that one she loved. And the basil, the fresh basil. Love that.
So we don't want to take too much of your time. We have come to an end. Chelsea, if you have any quick question, otherwise we're going to wrap up.
I do have one quick question. Just kind of briefly comparing this project to our last project, the storytelling session last December. I guess, which one did you find more useful, and what were the main differences between something where people gather to share stories and this where you kind of share food and share time together on porches?
Well, with the storytelling, I did enjoy that. The thing about the food is you got a chance to actually reach out to people that you usually don't reach out to, or not saying you reach out, but you can got them to come to be involved. That's what I said. I reached out to them, but to actually get them involved. Some of them actually got involved where they didn't. Some of them were not part of the storytelling. They did not participate in it. So that part, with the food, people were willing to get the food. More were willing to take the food than not. And so I think I like that part. I like that part. I hate that it was a pandemic that, when you really couldn't do everything that you wanted to, but maybe the pandemic was, it's not a good thing, but, it was a way to kind of get out and see more people for me,
Right.
because I'm I'm just stuck in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to leave. And I wanted to thank you again, Ms. Tremerell, for everything that you do and all the stuff that you work with. And we will continue. We'll come back. We'll take a break now because I think every one of us is tired a little bit. So we'll take a break. And then we'll be back again in fall and we'll be making more zines. But, I'm on sabbatical, so that's why we're not coming with studio students building stuff.
Okay.
But I do know that my career will be building the stage on Unity Orchard. So there's going to be activity going on. But I really wanted to, on behalf of my students and everyone else I worked with, I want to thank you for everything that you did.
Oh, you're welcome. You guys take care and stay safe.
We really appreciate your being part of this, and we really admire the work that you do on your block and in Milwaukee and with Bid 32.
39. Bid
39.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye.
You guys take care also. Bye-bye.
Bye. Chelsea, you finish the recording and then you give it to me, right? Okay, I have to leave right now. I have another meeting. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.